Math Marvels, I am so proud of you. This is the last lesson in 6th grade, lesson 102. If you've made it to this lesson, you've made it to the end. In this lesson, we're going to find the missing data in the set. So watch how I do these things in the lesson. 1, how I can correctly identify how to calculate mode, median, range, and mean from the data set, the different averages. 2, how I can use what we know from EE skills and statistics to find the missing value in the data set. And lastly, how I can write and solve one-step equations to find that missing data value. This is the end. I'm really proud of you, so let's jump right in. Let's look at our first problem. The range of the following data, arranged in ascending order, is 10. What is the missing value? So ascending order means it's already in order from least to greatest. And we know that the range between this number and this number has to be 10. So range is equal to our maximum minus our minimum. We know that the range is 10. We don't know the maximum, but we do know the minimum is 2. So think logically, the only number x can be is 12. So some kids can go like, well, I know this is 2, so if I add 10, I can get to 12. That's one way to do it. Or you can use your algebraic thinking to figure this out. But you need at least one of those values to figure out the range. Let's look at the second one. The median for the following data set, arranged in ascending order, is 5. So we know our middle number is 5. The range is 15. Calculate x and y. Let's think about what we already know. We know the range is 15. So again, from here to here, it is 15. So if we know our maximum is 16, what is the minimum? Think. It would be 16 minus what number is 15? It's 1. X is equal to 1. That one is pretty simple to do. All right, let's look at the median one then. So if we know, what do we know about our middle number? We know our middle number has to be between 3 and 7. And it even tells us right in the problem, the median for the data set is 5. So that means my middle number has to be 5. Because it says it's the median. If they said the mean was 5, that would be completely different. I'm going to hit pause and jot this down, and we're going to talk a little bit about mean in a second. So far this term, Heidi has these scores on her quiz. 87, 86, 96, 87. What is the lowest score she can get on the remaining quiz and still have a mean of 90? I love this problem. Let's talk about it. We know it's an even share. We want the mean to be 90. And I honestly used to do this math a lot when I used to teach classes because kids always wanted to know what is the score I need to get a certain average. And we're going to have 5 numbers here. We know that mean is the sum of all the numbers divided by, in this case, 5. The 5 quizzes. And we have the other numbers here. We have an 87, an 86, a 96, and another 87. We want to know what that last score is going to be. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. And we're going to work backwards. We know that usually we would take these 5 numbers and add them all up. They would equal something, and then we would divide by 5. And we want this to be 90. So we're going to start at the end, and we're going to work backwards. What number divided by 5 makes 90? So I'm thinking about this one first. I want to know this. What's the only number that divides by 5 to give us 90? If you are not sure, work backwards. 90 times 5 is 450. So that means the sum of all her points has to add up to 450. So that's the first part. Let's think. What does this number have to be? This all has to add up to 450. At least 450. So what does this number have to be? So what I'm going to do is let's add these numbers up to figure out how far off we are from 450. How many more points do we need? Okay, let's see. 87 plus 86 plus 96 plus 87. How many points does she already have? 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 14 is 26. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 9 is 27. 27 plus 8 is 35. So she already has 356 points. How many more points does she need to get to 350? So I'm just going to subtract these. Should use trade first on this one. So I'm going to turn this to a 3, this to a 15, and then again to a 9. All right, 9 minus 5. So I have 14, 94. So she needs at least a 94 to have 450 points. If she gets exactly a 94, let's walk through it. If she gets a 94, then all of these numbers together will equal 450, which when you divide by 5 will give her a 90. If she gets more than a 94, then she will have higher than the 90%, usually by a few decimal points. So the lowest score she can get is 94. Anything lower than a 94 is not going to be enough for her to get a 90 average. All right, so for this very last modeled problem, Math Marbles, you can see how we're going to think backwards. We're going to start from our mean to find the sum, and then use the sum to find the missing number. And that's it, Math Marbles. Let's hit pause and jot this down into your notes. And that is it for 6th grade math. I will see you in 7th grade. Be well.